The Baptists were a branch off the Congregationalists. They had flourished in Holland, but eventually went back to England in 1612, led by Thomas Helwys and John Smyth. A group that believed that everyone was a member and children were baptized. They would be scrutinized in England, and eventually a group would go to the colonies. Roger Williams, starting the first Baptist church in America, was removed from Massachusetts for questioning the church, and eventually founded Rhode Island. Some of the basic Baptist beliefs that still extend to today. The Baptists were a group of religious dissenters who had moved from Holland to England and then eventually to the colonies. Roger Williams had started the first Baptist church in America when he was ousted from Massachusetts for questioning the church and then eventually starting Rhode Island. What's unique about the Baptists is that they evolved from this dissenting idea of the colonies and colonists questioning whether it was the Church of England or the conflict between Puritans and other groups. In the article, Being Baptist, Robert Stephen Reed talks about the fact that Baptists came into being as an opposition group in this movement in the colonial period. And it's not unique for the time, but it definitely allowed the Baptist groups and the Baptist church to evolve into, an amazing large group today. Even Mark Knoll, in his book, A History of Christianity in the United States and Canada, he discusses this idea that the Puritans saw the Baptists as a threat. So what I find unique about the time and what I find unique about the Baptists is that the Puritans had come over and these groups had come over to the colonies for religious freedom, but yet they don't extend it to each other. So you see this group, and Christianity in general, these denominations really evolving from this dissenting idea, and if what they don't like, they're continuing to try to make it the best it can be, even if it means branching off into different colonies or branching off into different groups. One of the main focuses of the Baptist community is missions work. And you see this a lot with the colonial period, where you have religious groups going out and doing work with Native Americans, even working with slaves. But with the Baptists, you see, even still today, a large importance and focus on missions work. There's even evidence before the Civil War of African Americans who were part of the Baptist congregations going to Sierra Leone and Liberia on missions work. Which is interesting because leading up into the Civil War, you see, even though there are African Americans that are part of the Baptist church, you do see this split between North and South. And we know the tensions between the North and the South, politically, economically, socially, and even religiously. It was getting to a point, obviously, it was a powder keg just ready to blow. So we see this, not only this division, politically you see it, also religiously, not only between religious groups, but between denominations. The Northern Baptist community and the Southern Baptist community was split. And it's interesting because there was an article written by Judith Blau called Ethnocultural Cleavages and the Growth of Church Membership in the United States between 1860 and 1930, where she discusses and looks at this idea that based off of racial tensions and after the Civil War, there was a deep division between the Baptist church still. And it's interesting because you see large numbers of African Americans who are joining the Baptist church, and you see large numbers of whites, but they're not intermixed. And obviously we know what the United States and the South especially was like after the Civil War, even leading up into the Civil Rights Movement. But it's interesting where you see within a church group this division. And she talks about the idea that the white Baptist community grew in a more homogeneous setting, whereas with blacks it was more in a heterogeneous.